What's up, everyone? Welcome to Pat's Chat. We are a proud member of the CLNS Media Network. This show is brought to you by Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Michael, we are doing a rare Monday morning podcast. I flew home from Tampa last night so I could continue to cover the Patriots on a short week. How are you doing?
Probably better than you, so that's good. I have had many hours now to organize my thoughts. So my goal in this podcast is to be actually focused for a change. So that's the one benefit of having 16, 17 hours to really digest. Well, I slept a lot of those hours, but you know what I mean. There's some thought process here, so this should be good for us. How about you?
I think you were still digesting in your sleep. I have faith in you.
That's true. The leftovers keep leftovering.
I'm doing all right. One thing I will say, so like I said, flew home last night. There was like construction leaving the airport where I could not figure out how to get on the Mass Pike or 93 South. So I spent a good 10 minutes driving through East Boston, taking the roundabout way to get home. That didn't help.
No. You know what? Sometimes I think their philosophy is just screw you because
there were like the exit to get on 90 and 93 South, unless I'm stupid, was just completely blocked off. And my only other option was to go north or to go back to the airport. Right. I was like, well, I don't have anywhere to go.
That's true. You could have flown home. I will do Patriots in a second. One time when I was filling in on the morning show on the Sports Hub years ago, I took 95 South and I had to get on the Pike East, get off the exit, and the Pike East was just blocked. So I had to take, at that point, I had to go to Framingham. I had to go 9 miles out to Framingham, turn around and come back in. And I was like, you know what? That was crap. So you're not alone. Sometimes you get screwed. But anyways, Doug, the Patriots, you were there.
I was there.
In sunny, rainy, humid Tampa, and the Patriots won again.
They did. And I wrote this last night. I don't want to hear anything about the Patriots schedule again, because the Patriots have played 2 very good teams this season. Both of those games on the road. They played the Bills on the road and they played the Bucs on the road. And they beat both of them. And there was no shenanigans in either game. They were fair, clean-cut, good wins.
They weren't also miraculous. It wasn't like it wasn't as if someone did something otherworldly in either game. They had their ups and downs.
The Patriots were in control of this game the entire time. They were pretty well in control of the Bills game, especially near the end there. So yeah, there was no shenanigans. There was no crazy officiating. Both teams, the Bucs had some injuries. So did the Patriots. The Patriots were down their top running back and their second best wide receiver. So I don't really want to hear about injuries either. The Patriots are just a good team. And I'm not ready to talk about that big game that happens in February, because I think that kind of ruins what's happening. If we raise expectations that high, I think you have a chance to spoil them a little bit. So what this does for me is it does raise the ceiling a little bit on this season. And now there's really no excuse when you see all those power rankings that are going to be coming out today and tomorrow for the Patriots to not be a top 4 team, 3 team, because they've been around that 10 range, which I haven't necessarily disagreed with, because they're a team that no one expected to be good. Their roster's not that great.
You beat the Panthers, you beat the Browns, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. But now at this point, there's absolutely nothing keeping them from that top echelon in the power rankings. And the power rankings don't really matter. But that's where the Patriots deserve to be after beating the Bills, after beating the Bucs, going on a 7-game win streak. And you know damn well, based on how the Patriots have played so far, that they're also going to win their next 3 games. So you're going to be looking at an 11-2 team heading into their bye.
Yes. At worst, I mean, they could teams slip up. The Bills lost to the Dolphins, so things happen.
I know, but the Patriots don't slip up, which is wild.
That's true. 7 in a row. Like that's what's, I was impressed by 6 in a row. You and I sat here the other day and we said
I was impressed by 2 in a row.
That's fair. We sat here the other day and we're like, they'll probably lose this one. Just we weren't saying they suck. We were saying it's hard to sustain this. It's a tough spot. You're on the road. You've got these injuries. It's grinding, and they took a physical pounding in this game. They came back in this game. They had their struggles in this game, and they still won. So that's why I'm with you. One of the struggles of our podcast is agreeing too much. But the way I ended my column last night was So all year we've been saying, "Yeah, all right, but they're not a Super Bowl contender. They're not a Super Bowl." And now it's just sort of like, well, let's not cap the ceiling, because that's what makes sports fun, is watching
Right.
rides that you didn't expect, the unpredictable, and embracing it. And again, I'm with you. I'm not saying Super Bowl or bust, but I think it's okay to sit back and sort of just say, wow,
Mhm.
this is something that's happening, and you observe it and you watch it and you break it down the best you can. But I do think this win does change how you look at, I mean, granted, yeah, it's one win, but it does change how you look at what they can do, because you don't want to hear about their schedule. They have played a lot of crap.
They
And
have.
this does help establish some legitimacy to that. I don't think the Jets on Thursday night will change that. They still have some gimmies along the way, but when they have had the test handed to them, I don't know if they got an A+, but they won. So I don't know what you call that, B+, A-. Good
Right.
enough.
Yeah. I
Enough
mean,
to win.
the NFL is a little bit pass fail, and by winning, you certainly do pass.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it was not a perfect performance. Which, if anything, I I'm going to spin that into a positive
Yeah.
and
Well,
say
yeah,
the fact that you can beat the Bucks in Tampa when it's 85 degrees and humid or whatever it is,
pouring randomly.
and Drake May doesn't play his best game. Um, the run game was inconsistent. Even the run defense was a little bit more inconsistent than it's been.
Mm-hmm.
And you had players dropping like flies in this game. And yeah, sure, the majority of them came back in, but you were relying on a ton of backups for spurts in this
Mm-hmm.
game. And yeah, the fact that you still win despite a very imperfect performance also raises the ceiling for this team that, okay, if they can do this when they're not playing their best, can they kind of just beat anyone when they are playing their best? Are we at that point? I don't know.
Well,
But
that's
yeah,
similar. I had, sort of a two-way split, where one concern or issue that has popped up the past 2 weeks is just the inability to hit that next gear to put teams away. You had
yeah.
Atlanta 21-7, you had the ball, you're trying to double score them and just end it early in
Hmm.
the third quarter, but instead you fumble before halftime. It's 21-14, and then it's just a tooth and nail battle the rest of the way. So the Falcons, they're a decent team. I don't know if you watched them yesterday morning.
Yeah.
They're not that bad.
No.
So you had a decent opponent. You had a chance to really put your foot in their throat, and you missed out on it. But you executed better than they did down the stretch, and you won the game. A
Hmm.
week later, it's 21-10. You go up 21-10. You get a punt. You get the ball at your own 30, and it's like a touchdown. I wrote in my notes, like, they're on the precipice of potentially blowing this one out. But instead they go inside run, incomplete to Henry, punt. And it's just like, I don't know if that's play calling, I don't know if it's execution, but obviously then the Bucks go on their 92-yard drive, it's 21-16, and then things are tight the rest of the way. And still, despite Drake May's interception, which was awful, which was backbreaking
Yeah.
in many cases, that will lose you a football game. They still made more plays than the Bucks in the final quarter or half of the quarter, whatever it was, and they won. So it's like you're lacking that ability to just kick it into overdrive and kill decent teams. You killed like the Panthers and
Right.
Browns or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, executing and winning tight games is a strength in and of itself.
Yeah. Because someone
And
has to step up at the end, whether it's the offense, whether it's the defense. Like, you are still getting key plays from
yeah,
one side of the ball if you're winning a close game.
and there is something to it. I forget which team a couple years ago. I think Bill Barnwell is always on the lookout for these in the offseason, and it's teams that win
Mm,
one possession games,
right.
because a large part of it is circumstance and good fortune and all that.
For
But
sure.
so it's like, if you win 8 one possession games, you're due for a regression the next year, et cetera. But we're not talking about next year. What I'm talking about is, I believe in that, but I also believe in the ability to win a football game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Right.
not luck to win
Hmm.
a game that's close. And so you are executing. And still, Doug, we're talking about a roster. You mentioned it with some of the injuries. The roster is still not 53 deep. And I think that's where you're so far ahead of this rebuild, because your rookies are playing such a huge factor. And yesterday, that was kind
Yeah.
of the story. And you're still not 1-53, but you're right now in this position because you did a good job in free agency, and you did a good job in the draft. And it's like, you don't want to get totally sucked in by it,
Hmm.
because it is sort of razor thin, the margin for error.
Right.
But what else are you supposed to do at 8-2? Like you can't demerit them for potential future injuries or lack of depth if they're
No,
8-2 right
100%. Yeah.
now.
And I would also say to your point that like they can't put teams away the last couple of weeks.
Just
There's
decent
also just a
teams.
factor of like the Bucks are a good team and
Yes.
they didn't really want to let themselves get put away. So like
Hmm.
there is the opposition involved. And yeah, if the Patriots have been able to at 21-10 blow the Bucks out of the water, then yeah, we're having maybe a slightly different conversation here and that puts the Patriots in possibly an even better echelon. But yeah, I mean like the Bucks are a tough team. They're a good team and they weren't going to let themselves get put in that position and sometimes you just don't have a choice when the other team's good. So let's break some things down.
Hmm.
Start with Drake May because he mentioned the interception. This was definitely not Drake May's best game. I think he finished with a positive EPA, but barely negative completion percentage over expected. He was having trouble throwing in the rain. He had three straight incompletions to Mac Hollins on their opening drive. He had the interception, which I think most teams lose in that situation. I think that
Yeah.
when you are in the position to kick a field goal and make it an an 8 point game, effectively putting it away.
And that was with 5:20 left in the fourth. You could
Yeah,
have gone up 8, which is a really good position to be in.
definitely.
Instead, you're
Because
up
at the
5.
very best, the Bucks can tie, and then maybe you're able to kick a field goal in your next drive, whatever it is. Like at the very least, you're probably going into overtime at that point. That was a bad mistake. It was a bad decision by Drake May. He should have thrown the ball away. It was a
And
really risky
oddly,
throw. It was a
post
great
game,
interception, but
yeah,
even if what's that, Tyke Smith, that's his name.
yeah, yeah,
Even if he doesn't dive to catch it, the the cornerback at least bats it away because the cornerback's got
yeah.
better positioning there than Matt Collins.
Were you surprised post game when Drake May didn't really regret it? He regretted not putting it more out of bounds so only Hollins could get it. It's like someone's got to drive into his head that
Right.
it's one of those things. I don't know if you go like full gunslinger, but you have to have a certain mindset to throw touchdowns into tight windows, and
Right.
we applaud it when he nails them, but circumstance has to factor in too, and that's just an
Yeah.
unnecessary risk with a very low chance of reward.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess like the Patriots were playing super aggressively all game. So I guess in some ways it's hard to criticize Drake May for his aggressive play, but then also praise Mike Grable for his aggressive coaching, because in
Yeah.
some ways maybe you can't have one without the other.
You know what it is
But
is there's a point in that play where it's going on to a certain point, and you've watched football before, it's not there. Like
yeah,
it's not developing, and it's one thing when you're in Tennessee last year and he's running around for 6 miles to try to throw the game tying interception, but when
right.
you have the lead, it's a different
Yeah.
equation that I think it's part of the learning process, and
You got
to
to
learn
protect
it
it
in
at
a
that point.
win
Yeah.
is fortunate. But I do hope that his post game comment doesn't reflect what is learned in the film room today.
No, for sure. But like, so I've been negative about Drake May. I think there's also a ton of plays to be positive about Drake May. He's under pressure on the throw to Kyle Williams. He's under pressure on multiple throws
He
to
got
Matt
hit
Collins. He's
by a
under
freight
pressure on
train.
multiple throws to Mario Douglas, and he's throwing fantastic passes. So the deep ball wasn't really there for the most part in this game. He was only 1 of 5 on yards 20 on passes 20 yards or more, but he had exceptional plays when he had defenders in his face.
Yeah. He got freight trained by the 350-pound Vita Vea
Yeah.
and then got up and threw that deep ball to Mac Hollins while getting hit again. So like he
Yeah.
is tough as nails. I think he took, he protected himself more, but there were the 2 runs toward the sideline where he was sort of half speed. Once he fell into Travion Henderson because he like
Right.
didn't think he was going to get caught from behind. And then the other was when he got absolutely helmet to helmeted by
Yeah.
Tyke Smith while just standing upright and sort of trying to avoid the guy in his back. So he took a punishment. He also slammed his head on the turf again. I don't know if you saw
Yeah.
that one when the defensive end sort of was waiting for him to loop back up the middle. So he took a beating,
Mm-hmm.
and so to perform in that is still something. But that interception did come right after getting helmet to helmeted. So I don't know if that affected his play at all.
It certainly could have. We've seen in the past when he takes a huge hit, maybe doesn't play like himself for a play afterwards. So that's certainly a possibility. I also feel stupid saying this,
Do it. I love stupid.
But if like because in some ways it is kind of dumb, but if you remove Trevion Henderson's explosive plays in the run game, so he
This is
finished.
like when Matt Dolph does the fake Felger and Maz videos every Monday. It's like, you take away the 55-yard touchdown run, you take away the 70-yard touchdown.
I know, but it like in at least in my head, this makes sense. It might not otherwise, but outside of the 69 yarder, the 55 yarder, and the 16 yarder, he ran 11 times for 7 yards. Like that made a difference in the game. Obviously, overall, fantastic performance from Trevion Henderson in this game. But so he, outside that, was 11 carries for 7 yards. You throw in Terrell Jennings, and you're talking about 14 carries for 12 yards. And if you throw in Dearness Johnson, then it's 15 carries for 14 yards, something like that. All I'm saying is that you would have liked to have seen more consistency in the run game. And if it means eventually springing 69 and 55 and 16-yard runs, then obviously you'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
But the run, like it was so hit or miss, the run game in this one, where like I would imagine that their EPA per run was probably positive, but their success rate was probably very low in this game.
I believe they had 34 rushing yards at halftime, the Patriots did. And then, of course...
And that included the 16-yarder, yeah.
Right, which was on a 3rd and 10 toss play, which was pretty cool. But then, 2 plays into the second half, you break off a 55-yarder for a touchdown. Right. So I think you take that because sometimes, I mean, unless you have an elite ground game, which the Patriots don't, you're going to have to plug away and hope you spring some. So to actually get some home runs is kind of insane. So right.
their EPA per play in the run was 0.27, which is super high. And their success rate on the run was 23%, which is super low. But hey, it worked. So, but the issue with that obviously is that you cannot bank on Trevion Henderson having 2 50+ yard runs in the same game.
Sure. However, how cool is it, right? You've watched the Patriots for a long time.
Yeah.
You had 2 of the fastest guys in the NFL, ball carriers.
Yeah.
In Kyed Williams and Trevion Henderson. And you had, here's my chance to sound dumb. Stephon Diggs' touchdown catch is a catch that no one under 6'5" should be able to make. I can't articulate why I feel that way. But that is a tall guy catch by a 6-footer.
Yeah.
The sort of like arms fully extended over the head, twisting around, toe tap in the back corner of the end zone is something that I don't know. That doesn't seem like
it's
a
like a Drake London catch.
Yes, not a shifty little speedy, quick guy with great hands. Like that was an incredible touchdown. So you had these plays, and it's one of those things, right? For years, we're like, oh, they need a weapon, they need weapons, and you kind of say, what does that mean? Right. And then you watch them play years with like Damiere Byrd as a number one receiver, and you can just physically see what it means to have a high level receiver, because that's 4th and goal. You don't score 7 points if not for that play. That is a 70. How long was Kyed Williams? 72. 72-yard touchdown. Their longest play in how many years? 5 years, whatever it was.
Yeah. Many
years. And you have, Kyed Williams was the fastest rookie to carry the ball. And then he wasn't, because you had another rookie go faster than him. So I think that is sort of a good look at what we've all meant when it's like the Patriots need some weapons. They had weapons yesterday.
They did. And I think the performances, even from those rookies, raises the ceiling for the Patriots season, because you didn't know for sure that they could produce those plays until yesterday, because Trevion Henderson hadn't and Kyed Williams hadn't. I don't think Kyed Williams will be a massive part of the offense when Kayshon Boutte comes back, but he has now shown the ability to make those plays. And so is Trevion Henderson. And I think that defenses will now be a little bit fearful of Trevion Henderson when he's out there, that, hey, this guy's really fast. Like, they were moving so fast on both of those, on all 3 of those plays.
I didn't mean it intentionally as sort of a counter to what you were saying, but I guess what brought me there was, okay, if 11 rushes went for 7 yards, you hit these home runs that you otherwise haven't been able to. Like Ramondre Stevenson, we think is a pretty good back. He doesn't have the home run gear. He doesn't have the speed. He never has that break. Like, his best run is going to be 30 yards.
Right.
And you have guys that change that. And to your point, there was a 3rd and 8. They spied May, and then Wenyu was left with no one to block. You remember this
Right.
play?
Yeah.
And Wenyu was kind of like, what? And before he knew it, the linebacker was coming right at May. May had to throw it.
Mhm.
And it was just, the more you have someone like Travion Henderson actually worry about, the less you're going to have plays where you can dedicate a guy solely to Drake May, who then can get back into doing what he does. So it's sort of a snowball effect when you have guys like that. Put that on tape. Like now, up until this week, if you were defending Kyle Williams, you'd be like, whatever.
Right.
And now you don't have that luxury anymore.
No, 100%. And just rookies overall, you mentioned it. Will Campbell, like the Patriots only allowed 1 sack in this game.
He's
They
good.
allowed a decent amount of pressures, and the sack that they allowed was a Drake May sack. It was
You ever
him
just, yeah,
running forward into the middle of the line and getting sacked. No fault of the O line, but there, like I said, there was some pressure, but overall solid performance from Will Campbell and Jared Wilson. You had Elijah Ponder beating Tristan Wirfs for
Clean.
an impressive sack. Like that wasn't.
You know what was even
a lot
better?
of sacks that you see are not necessarily on the pass rusher. They're on the secondary. They're coverage sacks. They're a stunt, a loop, whatever it is. This one, he just beat one of the best left tackles in the NFL clean. And it feels silly to say, but that play alone changes my opinion about Elijah Ponder.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big play.
Not massively, but I didn't know that he possessed that ability. And now it's like, well, I don't know. Maybe you should see some more snaps out of him.
Yeah, that play too, he got around Wirfs and got a hand on, Mayfield, but then hit the deck and then still sort of like, I don't know if he army crawled or got up and dove, but the tenacity to finish. It's like, I beat Tristan Wirfs, I'm getting this damn sack.
Right.
So
that was it wound up being like a 5.6 second sack, something like that. But if Mayfield wasn't so hard to bring down, it would have been a much faster one.
Yeah. So you had the aforementioned ones. You have Jared Wilson, like for all his ups and downs, has gotten better as the year has gone on. And has played damn near every snap except for what game did he miss? Miami, whatever it was.
Was it the Carolina game?
I don't remember, but you have your top 5 picks, because Craig Woodson has been in the field every damn snap this year. He
made 2 pass breakups. He had a decent game. He allowed the touchdown at the end, but that was garbage time.
It doesn't matter. He and Christian Gonzalez with that hit on Kyed Otten was like, that was from another era. You don't get to see physical hits, break up passes anymore, but that was a good one. And then Doug, the kicker, is on a heater.
Yeah.
The kicker has hit 27 straight PATs, and he's hit, I believe, 12 straight field goals. He didn't have any yesterday, obviously, but it's only like when you got guys like Parker Romo losing their jobs for a missed PAT, it's worth noting when your guys hit 27 in a row. And he's just, early in the year, they'd bring the extra point unit on the field, and you're like, let's see. And now you really don't anymore. So it was a huge, huge draft class so far. And I think these guys, like, you can't, this is another thing I wrote, was like, you can't put a crushed it grade 10 weeks into a draft class.
Right.
But it would be hard at this point to have gotten more out of your draft class.
Yeah. And another point about the rookies, the Patriots dressed 11 rookies in yesterday's game. And they have 2 more rookies on the team who were inactive, in Eric Gregory and John Saunders, 2 guys that they claimed or signed off practice squad. A team that has to dress 11 rookies probably should not be 8-2 on the season.
Yeah.
They probably should not have a 7-game winning streak. But when your rookies are playing well and when your rookies are very, very much helping you win a massive game against the Bucs, then you can dress 11 rookies and continue to win. So credit to Vrabel, credit to Elliott Wolf, Stretch, Ryan Cowden, everyone in the front office.
How do you allot that
bang up job with the draft?
How do you sort that? How do you sort that one out? Power ranking the Patriots front office decision makers on draft day, because I feel like, what was my list? Do you want to know how I very quickly went to the list? I went Vrabel first.
Sure.
And then I got to find my list. And then I went Cowden. Not sure. I
don't know, because Wolf has got the better title, and he was one who was already in the building. So I think that when you replace a staff in January, you kind of have to rely a lot on the previous scouting staff.
Yeah.
So I might go
like
Wolf
the guy that drafted Jalen Polk and Caden Wallace was like, I don't know. I don't think Elliott Wolf has the personality to like command a room of people that want to command his room. if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
No.
So I'm sure he was involved. So I went out
Well,
and
remember, he was talking about the debate that they were having
sure.
between Trevion Henderson and Samayeto, whatever the guard's name was,
Yeah.
and it was like pretty clear, I think, that Wolves was the one that wanted Henderson in that spot.
Uh-huh.
So, and it wasn't. It ultimately not was not a choice because Samayeto, whatever his name is, was
Sure.
already drafted. But he has not been good. Henderson now has been good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Gives you a little bit of a point
Yeah.
for
Well, if
Wolf there.
I'm trying to bamboozle someone into thinking they have power, I'm going to let them debate me and then be like, "Wow, great point. You were going to go with him." Then I went with Stretch. Then I went with Elliot Wolf. Then Mac
Interesting.
Rowe, who's still there, and then Alonzo
Alonzo
Highsmith.
Highsmith
Yeah,
is
he was on the
involved
list
as
as well.
well, and yeah, there's a lot. It's a packed front office, but now
But
I don't know how
it's
you fully divvy up credit there, but
and go back. Well, I want to go back to two conversations. One, draft wise, where it's like, do you trade the Will Campbell pick? And a lot of people wanted them to, but a lot of people said you can't because it's a 3-person draft and you have the
right,
fourth pick. He's good. Like, you ever just watch him some plays where it's just he doesn't have like a Tristan Wirfs body. He doesn't
right,
have like Tyron Smith. He's not like just a freak, but you watch the effort every snap, snap in and snap out, and it's
yeah,
like he is like a grinder. He is a
yeah.
bulldog, and he is fun to watch. So that was a great pick.
He's got a short memory too. It feels like where like he's not going to get affected by a game by the game that he had against Miles Garrett. He's not going to really get affected by allowing a sack. I think he's, if anything, just going to get like pissed off by it, not get in his head, and play even better. So I think
Yeah.
that's definitely a quality that you want to have. And this is going to feel a little bit like piling on. This is a completely separate point, but I want to say it while I'm thinking about it. I was listening briefly because I didn't have time to listen to the whole thing yet. I was listening briefly to Vrabel on WEI this morning, and it just struck me that the Patriots are 8-2. They have a 7-game winning streak, and Vrabel hasn't changed since the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
He's not taking a victory lap after any of these wins. He's just the same guy every single Monday, and I think it would be easy to pull a Gerard Mayo after they beat the Bengals and being like, "We told you so," blah blah blah. Everyone thought we were going to suck. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He hasn't. He hasn't done that. I don't think it's purposeful that he hasn't done that. I just don't think he has that in him.
Well, remember last week he had that on his WEI interview, the question about the week schedule. And I
Yeah,
would say that's as close as he's come to sort of not snapping,
right.
but breaking character, if that's where it was just like it pissed him off to hear that
Right.
question. So
Yeah.
that was the most
No, I mean he
off brand
gets
he's been.
mad about stuff. He gets frustrated about stuff, but it's not
But that one was
a victory
specifically
lap gloating. Hey, we're doing better than everyone thought we were. Which
true. Well,
I
yeah, I
think
mean,
that
going back,
gets
you
you.
mentioned last year, and it's like, oh man, last year we all need like the Men in Black
I know, and
memory.
it feels so unfair to compare Vrabel, who's done this for 6 years or whatever it was in Tennessee, to Mayo, who was a first-year head coach. But when you see that dichotomy between them, of okay, this is a team having actual success, and they still haven't done that victory lap thing, and they're never going to. Like, that's what you need out of a leader. That's what you need out of a head coach. And that's what these players need, where it's like, all right, we won, but what's the next one? What's the next one? Like, we're not going to linger and talk about how no one thought we could beat the Bengals the
Right.
morning after. And I don't know. It just feels important.
Well, even did you catch the I caught it this morning, the locker room video?
Yeah.
Vrabel's post game speech. What was it about?
It was about the next game, right?
Next game. It was literally it's a short week. You kind of have to be like that.
Right.
But it was literally, well, you got the next one now. You got the next one now. And then
Yeah.
Drake May comes in. He's like, all right, everyone get healthy. We get game Thursday.
Yeah.
So you're right. There are teams where a win on the road against a good team, and that's how you win 7 in a row, is by keeping that focus. Like that's the hardest thing about this. And I think it's still challenging this week. The Jets won yesterday. No game in the NFL, even against a team that just traded away its best players, is easy. So
What about a game against a quarterback who threw like 50 yards?
I'm trying to remember. Oh, that was when Justin Fields had didn't he have a net negative yards?
Yesterday, he had like 57 yards.
Well,
They won, and
Browns.
that included a 42-yard touchdown to Breece Hall that happened in like the fourth quarter. For most of the game, he had, I believe, under 20 passing yards.
6 for 11, 54 yards. He did lose 12 yards on sacks, so that gives you 42 net passing yards. So yeah, you should beat them. I'm not saying that. I think they're 10.5-point favorites, which is about right. But yeah, no, I'm just saying the focus that you're talking about with Vrabel.
No, yeah, for sure.
Is how you get these types of wins. I had another.
I'm just saying that in that game, I wasn't watching it obviously, but I was monitoring what was going on in that Jets game. And until that 42-yard pass to Breece Hall, which happened at the beginning of the fourth quarter, the stat line looked like something that you would see out of like 1940s Navy.
Yeah,
where
there were some games.
They were just discovering the forward pass.
Yeah.
They hadn't perfected it yet, but they were trying pretty hard at it. That's how the stat line looked for most of that game.
There were some ambulances involved. Some people are taking off on gurneys. No, but there were some games yesterday. It's tough sometimes working the 1 p.m. window where you're like, I would like to watch the Bills and the Dolphins right now.
Right.
I would like to know what's going on in that game. So the Jets were another one of those games. But another, I wanted to bring up two things. One was the Will Campbell thing. The other, just to sort of, this is a new word, perspectivize. You're welcome. Where they're at. Obviously, 8 wins is the total combined of 2023 and 2024. And like that year-to-year change is obviously sort of mind-blowing when you have 8 wins in 16 months and then you have 8 wins in 10 weeks. But this morning, for whatever, you ever get like the Facebook algorithm really just throws you an old video for no reason?
Yeah.
So this morning, it was my friends at NBC. It was Michael Hawley and it was Michael Felger. And it was a video from after the week 3 loss to Pittsburgh. And Felger was like, I still have the Patriots in the playoffs at 9-8. And Hawley was like, you're nuts. And it's not, to call them out. They're my friends. I love them. It's to say what the conversation was like after they lost to Pittsburgh. Yeah. Well, I love Hawley, Felger, and I, there's some ups and downs. But Felger was looked at as a lunatic for thinking they could go 9-8 still. And this was in late September. And it's just a good sort of reminder of where everyone was. Not that he represented everyone's take, but if you went out on this, like if on this podcast, we started at 9 wins, I think. And then after that 1-2 start, we're like, maybe it's more like 7 or 8. And here they are now, 8-2. They have 7 more cracks to improve on that. So it's just, it's important to look back on where we're all thinking before you sort of apply all that schedule talk and all the strength of victory and all that. Like 8-2 is 8-2, no matter any way you slice it.
No, it absolutely is.
Thank you.
Let's talk about prize picks real quick because we did 2 lineups in last week's show. One of them was the one that you helped pick out for me, and the other one was one that I said, "Screw you, Michael. I'm going to do my own thing." Mm-hmm. I am going to pull a Gerard Mayo and take a victory lap.
Go for it.
Because my lineup with Kyed over 47.5 receiving yards and Matt Collins over 30.5 receiving yards, that was the winner.
Nailed it.
Matt Collins tripled his amount. Kyed nearly doubled his amount. I think that you start to figure out a team after a while, and the Patriots are a team that, for all of their strengths, cannot cover tight ends. So every week on Prize Picks, I would suggest looking at the opposing team's tight end and picking more than that. We'll get into the losing one in a little bit here, but you can download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
Matt Collins, over 100 yards for the second time in his career.
It's wild. Should we do some booms and dooms and start with Matt Collins?
Absolutely. I wanted to, as you were saying that, but I guess we can wait. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Booms and dooms.
Matt Collins, and this was after Drake May failed to hit him on 3 straight passes on that opening drive, as I mentioned earlier. 6 catches, 106 yards, long of 54. That was Drake May's 1 deep completion. Like, Matt Collins has the ability to make those plays, though. And I saw it even way back in the day when he was on Miami. He's kind of been an underutilized receiver throughout his career for one reason or another. And he's 32 now, still doing it. He's on pace now to have a 500-yard season. He's led the team in receiving yards 2 weeks this season. I know a lot of people were down on him earlier because they wanted to see younger players. They want to see Booty. He's played anyway. They want to see Kyle Williams. I don't know. Like, Hollins is a guy that you kind of need on the field because he's a dependable, trustworthy target for Drake May right now.
And he blocks.
And he blocks very well.
He's a big boy. So not only was 106 yards his second highest total in a game ever, which he's been in the league since 2017, so he's not a new guy. 6 catches, tied for his 4th most ever.
Yeah.
In 10 targets, his 2nd most ever. So in terms of underutilization, that's it right there. Like it's interesting because he's not going to take over a game necessarily in terms of the way you saw Drake London do it a week ago. But when you go to him, he makes the play.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a very useful thing, as we've seen a number of guys not do that. I'm going to stay in the wide receiver position group with my boom, and his name's Stephon Diggs.
All right.
Because the touchdown was incredible. I forget what his final stats didn't look great. 5 for 46 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
But how many of those 5 catches? Excuse me. Oh my God, the freaking microphone. The first one went for 9 yards. How many went for first downs? 2nd and 8, 10 yards. There's one. First and 10, 7 yards. Okay. So then another one. So he had, all right, only one first down. Whatever.
Plus
he was critical. And again, you go to like a thing I didn't expect Stephon Diggs to be doing, and it's just sacrificing his body to catch an onside kick.
Yeah. He got blown up. He also had some decent blocks in this game.
Because last week, remember, someone mentioned, I don't know if it was Vrabel, that Diggs was kind of down on himself for not blocking on Pop Douglas's big play. And usually that's kind of been their staple this year, is everyone running down and blocking. So I didn't on that necessarily, but down, like I said, was special. Your frame froze there for a second. Your eyes were closed. I thought I put you to sleep. But just to go up and know you're going to get absolutely rocked, and to hold on to that ball, and to just sort of, I don't know if he was just laying on the ground because he was like, damn, that sucks. Or if he was actually got the wind knocked out of him or hit his head, whatever it was. He seemed to have avoided major damage.
By the way, that was an incredible onside kick.
And that was one of the best I've ever seen.
That ball went so goddamn high in the air.
Yeah.
It was one of those where I was a little bit too busy writing at the time to be watching it super closely live.
Yeah.
So on my flight home, as I make it my way through the entire game, and then I get to the onside kick at the end, I was like, holy God, that was an impressive onside kick.
Yeah.
That's obviously something you can practice and try to do.
Right.
But it only happens that way by some chance. And it was incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it's an oblong, weird football, but you
can't
go back
guarantee
to
how it's going to bounce.
Remember when we learned you can kick onside after safety? Was that the Browns game?
Yeah.
That was the game the Patriots were in control, and Hunter Henry had a chance to sacrifice his body and was just kind of like, screw it. I think for Stephon Diggs to be able to do this, I think it's just it gets more buy-in as he gives his leadership speeches and everything. It's like he just went out there and as a 11-year vet who's still got star capability as a receiver. I thought that was a huge, huge moment just for him in that locker room.
Let's stay in the wide receiver room. We already talked about him quite a bit, but Kyle Williams for the 72-yard touchdown, very fast, showed off his potential in this game. Like I said, I don't know what this means moving forward. Don't expect him to be a regular part of the starting offense when Kayshon Boutte comes back. But it makes you think when he's out there on the field.
It's the same thing, and I forget who I saw say it. He was getting some regular reps this week with Boutte out in practice, and I said last week they should scheme up 2 or 3 plays for him.
Right.
Where he is and he said that after the game, like he was the target on that play.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because he just ran across the field, which is a good route.
It was a 2-man route. It was play action.
Yeah.
Austin Hooper was hanging on for dear life on that play. Jack Westover had a good block because they really sold the run on it by having a fullback lead blocking.
Play action under center with the Patriots is a good play usually.
Left side of the line was holding up well on that play. And it was only Kyle Williams and Mac Hollins, I think, on the routes. And good job by Williams to get open and keep going after the play, because as a rookie, you could very easily make that catch and then kind of turtle and go down. He did not do that.
What's crazy is he catches that ball and turns upfield, and Tyke Smith and he are equidistant. They're both on like the 35-yard line. Yeah. And you just see Kyle Williams just like, and it brought me back to like when I played football. I was always the guy that wasn't fast. Like, no, what the hell? I was going to tackle him. But not only that, but the safety had an angle on him. Thought he did. Yeah. Didn't get him. Didn't even come close to getting him. And then that happened again with Travion Henderson when he hit that hole on his first long touchdown. There was 3 guys triangulating him.
Yeah.
And they did not expect him to come out of that hole at that speed, and he was just gone.
I think it was the second run from Trevion Henderson, the 69-yarder. Trevion Henderson, another boom. I think that was the one that Vita Vea was trying to chase him down.
Yeah, I was like, don't even bother, man.
I
appreciate.
I was honestly impressed by Vita Vea's speed to try to chase him down. Really love the effort of being like, I weigh 350 pounds. I'm going to chase down Trevion Henderson. But like in some ways, it also did just show how goddamn fast Trevion Henderson is to compare him against someone who runs like a 5-second 40 or whatever it is, Vita Vea. It's just like, oh wow, he's moving at a, like these are both human beings, but they are built so incredibly differently.
They are both human beings, technically speaking, but very different. And the first Henderson touchdown, if we're going to talk about him on a boom level, is just hitting that hole at full speed. Like he waited and then he just burst through. And like I said, everyone on defense was like, oh, we will get him here. And he was zooming past them. Yeah. And then the second one, it's almost like you see this happen sometimes where the play isn't designed to bounce that far outside, but there's just this big mass of bodies. Everyone on defense is selling out for the run. They know it's a run situation. And then you end up just like bouncing and there's no one there. So
he also did break a tackle on the second one. He ran through some contact to keep going.
It was just that massive clump of bodies.
Yeah.
And then if you can just step out of that and you're fast.
You're like, okay, I've got a clear path here for sure.
However, do we doom him for not going down? Because somewhere in his mind, the Madden strategy that he knew he should go down. He looked back. Obviously, when you're running full speed.
I think someone told him to score.
It does. I saw that on Twitter. I didn't actually see the replay myself, but
yeah, he's looking at the sideline and like pointing, like, do I go in?
Yeah. And I'll be honest.
I think he got the thumbs up.
I'll be honest. I don't fault them for not before the snap being like, all right, Henderson, listen, if you break this one for 70 yards, like you got to make sure you go down. Like, I don't think that's the conversation. Yeah. It's just hold on to the ball.
Yeah.
Don't fumble. But also like I struggle sometimes with the end of game clock math myself sitting in a chair.
I know. So it would have been
2 timeouts, 140. They would have called the timeout. They'd have 1 timeout. You take a knee, you bring it down to a minute. You take a knee, you bring it down to 20 seconds. Like they would have gotten it down without issue.
Like obviously they don't need to score on that play, but we talked about the inconsistency of the run game already.
Yeah.
The chances of scoring later, even from 5 inches out, is not 100%.
No, but they wouldn't 50%. Have. They wouldn't have had to because that was he scored with, 140 left. So you would have taken a knee. They would have had 1 timeout at 135.
They could
then you can bring it down under a minute. I think you might have had to snap it on 4th down with like 8 seconds left.
Right.
And you kick the field goal and you go up 8. But
yeah,
I can't kill him too hard for that because again, I don't think it was in the huddle.
Right.
Don't score when you're just trying to get a first down.
Speaking of in the huddle, don't score. 1st and goal at the end of the first half. Drake May says he was trying to score. Mike Vrabel was asked multiple questions about it last night and would not give a direct answer.
Doug, why are they doing that? Why are they acting like it's illegal to take a knee on the 1?
I don't know, but if it was completely,
it was
I don't
brilliant.
Even know if like copacetic is the right word. If he was trying to score, I don't think Vrabel evades that question, right?
If they were trying to score,
yeah,
he just says no. We tried it, but he clearly we know what a quarterback sneak looks like. That was a kneel down, and it was brilliant because it was with I think 1:45 left. If you score, the Bucs have a full possession to try to go down and add points before halftime.
Yeah.
Instead, you score that touchdown with zeros on the clock. Like, granted,
it was brilliant because they scored.
But even not, there is an equation of eliminating an entire. Like, let's say you don't score the touchdown, but kick the field goal.
Yeah.
You get your points, right? You sacrifice.
Yeah, but they went for it on 4th down. So
okay, it was
an all or nothing.
That is a different equation where Mike Vrabel put his chips in the middle, as he said. Yeah. But you are sacrificing 1 of 3 shots. Call it. You're taking 33% away from your touchdown percentage to eliminate an entire possession from the opponent.
Right.
If it takes that many plays. Now, granted.
Right. Worst case scenario. So if you score on 1st down, worst case scenario is that the Buccaneers drive down and also score. So then that's basically you're like it's a net zero.
Because they had just used their last time out, won the Henderson run to get to the 1.
Right.
So it's 152. No, 144 first and goal from the 1. I'm
So
like draining 40 seconds there is a smart play. Like I know they scored by the skin of their teeth
I know
because
it's the ineffectiveness of the run game makes it risky, obviously.
yeah, well also this wasn't brought up. Drake May did have a real quarterback sneak in this game and he got stuffed and it sucked. It looked bad.
Yeah.
So not having that on the goal line when you pull the little shenanigans does make it a little riskier. Like if you're the Eagles, that's a no-brainer.
Oh yeah.
That's why they'll run 15 tush pushes in a row because
Right.
but it was weird that they acted like they were caught cheating after the game.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. That he was. Yeah.
Like we're not
they
dumb.
it so much.
Don't lie to us.
But yeah, it was a very risky. A lot. They pulled a lot of risky stuff in this game.
Well, I guess
some of it
flip
worked out, some of it didn't. One of the fourth downs didn't work out.
Yep.
But that risk did pay off.
Flip it. Let's say they kick the field goal on 4th down and it's 10-10 at halftime. Then I don't think there's any debate about it being a smart move. The fact that it required a ridiculous circus catch and like a play that I don't like. I don't like lobs into the corner of the end zone, but damn, when it works, it's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Other
booms
in this game. Hey, did you have any other booms? I think Kayla Von Chason had a sack. He had a decent game in this one.
He should have had another half sack at the end, which we can talk about.
Oh my God.
Let's just talk about it now.
Let's talk about it right now because that was
Doug,
kind of ridiculous.
It's 4th down. 5 Patriots wrap up Baker Mayfield and no whistles blown. And this is an era where you can't even like breathe on the quarterback a certain way without getting a flag.
It was ridiculous.
He slips out and chucks it over his head, completes it to Rachaad White. What if he scored a touchdown on that play?
I don't know what they do. I think they would have had to allow it. Like, God, so much credit for Jalen Hawkins deserves a boom just for tackling.
Someone else was there. I think someone else was there, but Hawkins made the play, obviously. Yeah. I just don't know how
Landry was in pursuit.
Yeah, I got it up now. I don't have like the dots, so I don't know the full scenario. But Hawkins wrapped. Yeah, Landry probably would have got him because he was in move, and then Marcus Jones was running up too. So the whole defense was keyed in. But I just think it's absurd.
That was nuts.
Because he was wrapped up by 5 people. I'm not exaggerating. There were 5 blue jerseys wrapped
for a while too. Because when you watch that play and Mayfield just kind of emerges backwards and then flips it, you're like, where the hell did he come from?
Right.
It feels so long after the play should have been over.
It was like Eli Manning times 1,000 in this.
Yeah. Yes.
And I don't know. I wonder if he scored, if they're like, actually, he was in the grasp, no play. And then there's a riot in Tampa. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
That was.
Well, it would only be half a riot because half the stadium is filled with Patriots fans.
Well, they'd both be rioting, happy and sad.
Yeah.
But I just think you can't. No one cares because like it was inconsequential, but I care deeply about the rules and the officiating at all times.
Yeah.
That one was insane to me. So doom to the officials.
Real quick before we get into our dooms, I did want to talk about our loss in prize picks. So we had Drake May over 237.5 passing yards, hit on that one. We had Rachaad White under 43.5 rushing yards. Credit to us, nailed that one. Stephon Diggs did not get more than 58.5 receiving yards, and Drake May did not get more than 30.5 rushing yards. Do we learn from this or do we not? I don't think I learned from May. I think I do learn from Diggs because Diggs' receiving yard totals are just so completely all over the place.
He's a short pass catcher.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to break a few, but generally speaking, he's going to catch the ball 7 to 9 yards. And what happens after that is dependent on, like, he's not going to break tackles generally
when
speaking.
The total is around 60, it might be smart at this point to take less than on Stephon Diggs. Because he can still have big games with less than 50 receiving yards.
And the May rushing yards are, they're keying in on him more to limit it.
Yeah.
But he could break a 40-yarder at any point, which makes it a difficult play.
That's why I'm probably not going to learn from it. But you can learn from it and download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
Can I start the dooms?
Absolutely. I would never even think about steamrolling you and giving a doom before you.
Well, it's because it's dumb, and we love dumb. I had this
Mm,
in my note, okay? Because you and I talked the other day. Good day for Drake May's MVP candidacy. Even though it wasn't his greatest game, he made
hmm
some plays. He showed that he can beat a
I
good
think he's
team.
now the favorite, right?
I believe so. I really don't give a crap if he wins the MVP. Is that wrong? Like, it's good that he's in the conversation, but I don't know that anyone should really like the MVP always loses the Super Bowl, right? Has that streak been broken? Did
I'm,
Mahomes end up breaking it?
I'm not sure. Like, I think that's a fan thing because I don't really care either.
Right. Like it's good to be considered among the best players in the league, and like
Right.
how it shakes out, I don't give a crap. But I wrote good day for his MVP candidacy. Potential bad day if Christian Gonzalez wants to make an all-pro team this year. If we apply the same logic that more eyeballs were on this game, and it's not that he sucked, but he did give
Right.
up an early catch to Ibuka.
hmm
He
He
gave up
slipped
some
on that one,
plays.
yeah.
He gave up some plays. He had a DPI, which I don't know how you feel about that when he got the collar on an uncatchable ball, but that word doesn't exist anymore. The flag flew, whether you agree or
Yeah.
disagree with it. I wouldn't put him in the doom, especially because he made a great tackle on Sterling Shepard on a
He
third and
did.
7 bubble screen, which is like great play call. And then he also combined with Woodson for that pass breakup. Then, so
hmm
not a doom, but in terms of, I don't know if it was if he wants to gain national recognition,
Right.
wasn't a step forward for him, I would say.
I am actually going to build on that and say I think the starting cornerbacks as a whole probably get a doom for this game
All
because
three,
Marcus Jones was involved in the coverage breakdown on
yeah,
Ibuka's first touchdown.
that was bad.
He probably should have been the one covering him on
I
that play.
rewatched that. I used the dots on that.
Yeah,
So Carlton Davis and Christian Gonzalez played man on their
right.
outside receivers, and Jones was just locked in on Mayfield. It's
Yeah.
like you gotta recognize that there's a man behind you. I think
And
it's fair to blame him for that one.
Carlton Davis allowed a touchdown. It turned into a bit of a scramble play once Mayfield got out of the pocket, so it's harder to cover, but you still allow a touchdown. So
Mm-hmm.
that's obviously usually puts you in the doom category. And Gonzalez was a very up and down game because slipping and falling and allowing that first catch was not great, the DPI, but then he also did make some key plays down the stretch. So overall, probably like maybe even a net positive for Christian Gonzalez, but I understand your point of like Christian Gonzalez's all pro or Pro Bowl bid maybe takes a hit just for some of the plays they allowed.
Just in terms of more people watch, and now they have a Thursday night game
Yeah.
coming
And a
up.
Monday night game. And that
Yeah,
Baltimore game probably turns into a Sunday night. And they've got the Bills coming up. So
so
this
it's
is a
not
team that's
shot.
going to be on national TV quite a bit.
One quick boom we forgot. I know I should have
That's
been
if
more
people can
organized.
even watch Monday Night Football
You know who
on
can? People that are old and just have cable.
cable, cable,
I will
cable.
be. You will take the cable box out of my cold dead hands when I'm 150 years old because I will never. I don't know what it costs. I don't know what I pay for cable. It's probably too much, but I
So
like
much.
it and I'll have it forever. A quick boom we forgot. Everyone on defense. I don't have the play sheet. Doesn't say who made the tackle, but the 2-point conversion,
Yeah, yeah,
stopping
yeah.
that. They
Yeah.
did a really good job on that. It was like sort of was it like a jet sweep to Ibuka, whatever
hmm
it was. They were ready for it, and the flag flew, and then they were like, actually, there was no penalty. I was like, well, was there? Because you threw a flag. There was definitely 7 guys on the line.
hmm
So I don't know what they would have called. But either way, that was a pretty big play because you would have had a 3-point game instead of a 5-point game.
Definitely. Um,
Another doom.
you want
Jones
me to
was
do it or
also,
you?
well, Marcus Jones was also on
Oh,
my,
okay.
um,
I will give special teams because they had two
yep.
penalties, two holding penalties.
I had them, they did have a better second half,
Yeah.
but their starting field position to start the game, their 34-yard line, their 6-yard line, their 28-yard line, their 7-yard line, their 33-yard line. Behringer had a touchback that looked like Schooler should have made a better play on. Didn't. Like, it was a pretty good, it dropped in there pretty good. Schooler didn't get there. Then Schooler took the penalty. Was it a hold or a block on the back?
Mm-hmm.
And Marcus Jones muffed a fair catch
Yes.
at the 40. He recovered it. So special teams was definitely shaky in the first half. I think they had a much better second half though. But
They
first
did,
half,
yeah. You know what? I think this is a time for a quick rant from me.
go ahead.
I've had enough of the new kickoff.
I've been there since it started, Doug. Welcome.
I mean, like when we saw Trevian Henderson have the 100-yard return in the preseason, And when we saw Antonio Gibson return one early on, it was like, oh, this has the potential to be an exciting play. I don't know the league wide stats, but I know that people have asked questions to Jeremy Springer since those plays and been like, "Hey, Antonio Gibson is still the only kick return for a touchdown." It's a boring ass play, and
Yeah.
and
Well,
it's
let me fight you on that one, Doug. There's a landing zone, and they've got to get it in the landing zone, or you kick it in the end zone, and it's an extra 5 yards. So you want it in that landing zone. Isn't that exciting? Do you not like landing zones?
I don't like landing zones, and maybe it's that it. I would say like, oh, maybe Efton Chisholm isn't the greatest person to have back there. Clearly, it doesn't matter. Like no one can
All right.
return these things.
Well, we got two more since Antonio Gibson scored. Charlie Jones of the Bengals and Kine Nwagwu of the Jets.
Oh yeah, I know that the Jets had one yesterday. Yeah, yeah.
So that was a 99-yarder. That was a 98-yarder. Gibson's was 90. There has been an 81-yarder and a 71-yarder and a 69-yarder. So some of these are exciting technically. I'm just devil's advocating you because I hate what they've done.
And I'm not even like saying that it should go back to the old kickoff because I'm not going to pretend like I was in love with that play either. But
Well, they've been slow to adapt to the modern era of kicking. Like there was a kick yesterday. I think Badgley kicked a 55-yarder and it was short. It was like, what?
yeah,
You're short from 55, whereas that used to be as long as a kick as you see, and now it's sort of a short one.
I
So
know
the game is adapting slowly to the long kicks.
it is. But okay, that's my rant. Do you
All
have
right.
any other dooms?
Not on my list laid out. Do you have one?
The Patriots offensive line had two false starts in the same drive. So just
Yeah,
that one
that
drive.
one, the
I
both
think it was
tackles
what
went.
Jared Wilson and Morgan Moses on those.
Yeah, and both Moses and Campbell went. They were going with not a silent count on the
Right.
road, and then after that, they went to a silent count.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's tough when both tackles go. You kind of say like that. I don't know. It's not blameless, but it's a tough spot.
Not a lot of other dooms in this game. I thought Jack Gibbons filled in pretty well for Christian Ellis. He led the team in tackles.
10 tackles. Had that pass breakup where he was like pissed I didn't pick it off. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, if you caught that, you'd probably be a tight end.
Had a tackle for loss. I don't think the linebacker play was perfect in this game, but Gibbons and Spillane definitely did well enough. Craig Woodson, like I said, allowed the touchdown, but that was in garbage time. Otherwise, he had a good game.
There were some big holes on the defensive line early in the run game.
And honestly, tackling in general, it felt like there was a period of this game where the Patriots felt like they were playing electric football. Did you ever play electric football? Where
yes.
if you just like held back a running back, that would count as a tackle.
Yeah.
There were multiple plays where it felt like no one knew that they were supposed to wrap up and actually tackle a guy. They were just supposed to get in the way because then the Bucs running backs were like, oh, they're not going to try to tackle me. I'm just going to run around and pick up 7 yards or 2 yards or whatever it was. So that left a little bit to be desired as well.
The second play of the game, it was just sort of an in-cut to Ibuka. And Marcus Jones was the first to make contact, but he was kind of running up the field at him.
Yeah.
And everyone on the Patriots like just grabbed on and ran upfield with Ibuka for like 15 free yards. And it was like, no, you are supposed to kind of get him down at some point.
They're trying to pop the ball out for a forced fumble.
Gonzalez big time. He was reaching in the ball every time he could.
But they know that. And they're holding on to it. So eventually, if that works, it's great.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily also want to be in the business of, hey, let's allow this team to get 5 extra yards because we're trying to force a fumble because those start to add up after a while.
Yeah. No, but I don't think we look at this game and say it was perfect, but I don't think it's over. Like I would put Josh McDaniels on there for that conservative play calling when up 21-10. Like why even get out of bed if you're going to just hand it off up the middle, up 21-10? Like,
is this also a game where we give Drake May a boom and a doom?
Doom for the pick for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did the inability to throw in the rain concern you at
all? Someone replied to me. I tweeted out his third incompletion on the rainy drive, and they said he was hit on that. So I'd have to look at that one a little closer. But yes, if that's it's not going to get nicer out as these days turn into the next ones.
I think maybe in practice this week we might want to see some footballs dipped in water and
Yeah.
toss to Drake May maybe.
Thursday's supposed to be pretty nice around here, though, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
That was weird how it only rained during that one Patriots drive.
It
Also.
reminded me
It
of
was like pouring of the Brady
Bengals.
return game.
No. It wasn't the Brady
Oh.
return game. It was a game in Cincinnati that they lost. I want to say in 2014. And they were down like 5 with a minute and a half left, and they got the ball, and the monsoon came in, and it was like, well, this is bogus. Like, timeout. Like, what the hell? Was it 2014? I want to find it because it was one of the weirder. No, it wasn't. They beat Cincinnati in 2014 famously. Duh.
Yeah, they were on to Cincinnati.
2013, they lost in Cincinnati 13-6. So they were driving for the game tying score, and Brady incomplete. He hit Brandon Bolden for 6 on 4th down. They got a defensive offsides. What a gift. Incomplete for Edelman. Bolden ran for 12 yards. Brady incomplete. It was pouring buckets that game. So Andy Dalton better than Tom Brady. The facts bear it out.
Yeah, no, that's I will say with Drake May, and like this is obviously very unfair to say. Tom Brady in those situations, you had like obviously full confidence that he was going to be able to bring the team back and like make incredible plays in the clutch. Drake May makes fantastic plays throughout the game, but in gotta have it situations, I'm still not of a full belief that he's going to make them.
We do sometimes, like Tom Brady threw end zone interceptions. He threw one in the Super Bowl against Carolina, which was pretty bad. He threw one in the Super Bowl against Seattle, which was pretty bad, but it was smart because Edelman then broke Jeremy Lane's arm on the top.
This I probably shouldn't have even said that because it's a ridiculous comparison to make.
No, but I do think like it's a good thing to bring up because Brady's the best of all time and best winner of all time and is a great psychotic competitor. But it is good to remember like that is the like sort of polished story. But if you look at the nitty-gritty, there were numerous mistakes, just like the one we saw Sunday. So for May to be there, Drake May's 23. Am I right?
Yeah.
What was Tom Brady doing when he was 23? He threw a pass on Thanksgiving to oh, come on. Who caught it wasn't Rutledge, was it?
Oh, it might have been Rutledge, yeah.
That was his first completion. So it's like he's just so it's a different era, whatever. But to be making these mistakes while winning is pretty crazy. Speaking of winning, you know what's kind of bogus about this 8-2 run?
What?
Other teams are 8-2. Like it's kind of like you'd think all of this work, they'd be the number 1 team in the conference, but
I know the Broncos are 8-2.
The Broncos are 8-2. They played one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life Thursday night.
Oh my
God. The Steelers, only to be outdone by the Steelers and Chargers last night. But you look at the Colts at 8-2, squeaking by the Falcons just like the Patriots did. The Broncos at 8-2. They're clearly, the 3 top. And then the Chargers aren't far behind at 7-3. So it's like as much as
What are the Chiefs right now?
The Chiefs are 5-4 outside of the playoff picture.
That's wild.
And the Bills are 6-3. They're 1 game up on that. So there's a lot to be done, but I don't know. You would hope that if you go 8-2, like you'd be like sitting in the 1 seed, but there you are at 3rd for whatever reason. But you know what? You know what people don't talk about, Doug?
What?
Patriots' strength of victory. You know what it is? No. I would hope you don't. It's 373. Okay, and they have the easiest schedule. They beat up on bad teams. Blah blah blah. The Colts. Do you know what their strength of victory is?
What?
It's 373. The exact same. And now if we go to Denver, do you know what their strength of victory is?
What?
It's 326.
Oh my goodness.
So if you want to just talk about the Patriots' easy schedule, you got to talk about the Colts and the Broncos too. 100%. And not coincidentally, they're all 8-2.
Yeah, and beating the Bills and Buccaneers deservedly raises that strength of win for the Patriots.
The Bills' strength of victory is lower than the Patriots. It's a 368.
There we go. They're beating good teams. They've done it twice now. That should not be ignored. That cannot be ignored. People are going to continue to talk about the easy schedule. But if you talk about it, you also have to talk about the fact that they beat the Bills on the road and they beat the Buccaneers on the road. And those were relatively normal games. The Patriots were the better team.
You know what sucks, though, in terms of Pat's chat scheduling? Now we have a Thursday game. Like, when's the next podcast? We don't know. We don't even know. We'll figure it out.
I know. I think we should probably try to do like a Wednesday morning or something.
Yeah. We'll have to figure it out, Doug. This is
I do also want to say, hand up, I was wrong. After week 3, I was looking at that Panthers game and I was saying, if the Patriots win this Panthers game, 5-1 in the next 6 weeks is on the table. And if they lose, I was like, they could just lose every game for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
5-1 wasn't on the table. 7-0 was
Yeah.
on the table.
It sure
So
was.
I did not anticipate them beating the Bills. And I had this Bucks game as a loss, and they won both games. So this team's a lot better than I thought they had any business being.
Absolutely. We had the Bucks as a loss like 4 days ago. So
Yep.
it's an impressive win. Like any way you put it. You don't want to overstate it. You got 3 weeks till the bye.
Yeah.
You've got a really good chance to win all 3 of those games.
You do. Yeah. They can't let up off the gas at this point. They have to continue to move forward, beat the Jets, beat the Giants, beat the Bengals. Not in that order, but
Can we do a quick game before you go? Because I know you got to go cover Vrabel.
sure.
This game is called What is Everyone on Twitter Mad at Mike Hurley About Today? Can you guess?
Your
I
face.
did a tweet. Well, yes, actually, it turned into that. I've been told I dye my hair and do Botox. I do neither. Thank you for commenting on my handsome looks.
Wow.
On the internet. So, Riley Dixon, the punter on the Bucks,
Yeah.
he sent a punt. It landed really nicely inside the 10, but rolled in because all of the gunners were faked out by Marcus Jones' fake fair catch at the 20.
Yeah.
And Riley Dixon seemed to yell down at his teammates, like, get the damn ball. And like kind of did that, like, I'm so mad I could hit you. Look. And I just smartly and correctly said, if I'm running a team and my punter does that, I'm walking on the field, taking his helmet, taking his shoulder pads and saying, the exit's that way. You're not on the team anymore. Like, don't talk to the football players.
Yeah.
You're the punter.
Yeah.
Do you know how many views that tweet has?
Ooh, probably too many.
4.8 million.
Wow.
4.6 million. Nope, up to 4.8 million. And 327 people telling me to go die. Which is crazy to me. I had to mute it because like I couldn't use Twitter anymore. I didn't know that many people were pro punters calling out football players, but you learn something new every day.
That is truly wild. Well, congrats on the hit tweet, even if people might have a hit out on you at this point.
Yeah, it's just that you never. I don't know how it works. I don't know how the internet works. I've been doing it for a long time. That's a new one for me.
All right. Well, we will be back at some point this week to preview the Patriots game against the Jets, and then we will be back later this week to recap the Patriots game against the Jets. So busy week ahead for Pat's Chat. We will talk to you guys again soon. Goodbye.